We see so many predators chase vulnerable prey to satisfy their hunger. So what happens when animals living in the same house don't get along? Do they settle their differences, or do they challenge one another to a fight? Sometimes certain animals are vying to show their dominance, and this is certainly a cause for conflict. Have you ever seen two bison involved in an argument? What about two kangaroos? If you want to see some animals put order in their house, keep watching as we count down 15 epic fights between animals of the same species. Number 15. Crocodile versus Crocodile. These two crocodiles are engaged at the mouth, and one of them decides to disengage. The other one follows him in the water. It's like one of them feels like fighting and the other doesn't. Here is a fight between two crocodiles that want to declare their dominance. Both reptiles are trying to bite into the other, and they keep going in circles as the fight becomes more intense. These three saltwater crocodiles display their territorial dominance to each other. They keep their mouths wide open and try to impress the others, but they don't engage. The riverbanks get cluttered with all kinds of garbage, including carrion, as water levels vary with the rain. Domestic livestock as well as wild animals like this enormous feral pig can wind up here, and whomever gets their hands on the carcass first gets to keep it. Crocs don't hold back, and when there's a ready food source like this, salties don't care if the food is fresh or rotten. Other crocodiles are rapidly drawn to the carcass. Several crocs will soon be competing over the free food. Here is an intense fight between two crocodiles. The large one grabs the other by the tail and executes the death roll. A man taps the crocodiles on the head with a stick, and it's enough for them to disengage and run in different directions. Number 14. Tiger versus Tiger. These two tigers are going toe-to-toe. It's as if bombs are exploding in the air. Because both tigers are wrapped up in a bear hug on the ground, you can't see much at first. They're both gasping for air and appear to be clenched at the teeth, whatever that means. Their claws are pressed against each other's bodies, and these claws can do a lot of damage. When you look closely, it appears that one tiger's mouth is clenched against the face of the other. That can be pleasant. They're still clutching to each other after a few somersaults, and they don't seem to want to let go anytime soon. They're scratching each other and biting one another's elbows. These are two ferocious felines. A third cat appears and appears to enjoy these Friday night brawls. Maybe they're battling for the female. What are the chances? She decides to circle them and sniffs one of the cats to see whether he's wearing his Hugo Boss number 5. But he doesn't appear to be. Oh, one tiger gets to seize the throat of the other, but it doesn't seem to do anything other than make both tigers fatigued. And the gorgeous lady is left wondering whether she should choose one of them or abandon both, since she isn't sure. These two white tigers are fighting hysterically, but it's just because they share the same enclosure. They must have had a disagreement and are now resolving their differences. They re-engage after a brief scuffle and a few moments of looking at each other. Finally, it appears like they will reach an understanding. These two tigers get into a battle, but it doesn't last long. The two felines continue to walk together as if their differences have been resolved. Two tigers look at each other on the roadside in this video until they collide and go at it violently. This is a struggle worth filming. They get back up and resume the staring game, which they do until the next episode, which we don't witness. Number 13. Hippo versus Hippo. During a drought, a lone hippo seeks cool water and is faced with a life or death choice: surrender to the overlord or fight. They defy one another, possibly hurting one another, until one of the hippos abandons ship. In this case, the overlord succeeds and preserves his mating privileges with the female. The loser lives, but he is shunned and relocates to a separate part of the river. Hippos battle by extending their mouths wide and using their huge fangs to bite their opponents. Their canines collide and the resulting noise is audible. The winner pursues one of the hippos who has conceded and fled. A violent brawl ensues when 800 hippos are crammed into a single waterhole. Even though the native bull is larger, the outsider is in a precarious position. When 5 tons of hippos collide, their bulk, biting size, and brute might are all put to the test. The outsider admits he has been defeated. He must venture into the unknown as droughts tighten their hold. These two hippos fight for hours as they chase each other through marshes and swamps before returning to the waterhole. In this spectacular footage of two bull hippos struggling for dominance and mating privileges, there is no clear winner. The blood trickling from the two hippos' mouths may be seen. These creatures don't mess around when they fight. Number 12, snake versus snake. Cottonmouth snakes are opportunistic feeders, and they are frequently referred to as omnicarnivorous. Mammals, birds, amphibians, fish, small turtles, small alligators, and snakes, such as the rattlesnake in this video, are all part of its diet. These snakes are not afraid to eat poisonous snakes such as rattlesnakes or copperheads. Cannibalism, as well as the consumption of carrion, is common among this species. However, fish and frogs make up most of its food. This python has a cobra in a stranglehold, and the cobra is in a bad position. I don't see it getting out of that hold without any help. I think the cobra is down for a count of 10. These Burmese pythons are fighting over a rat. Who would have ever thought rats could cause such conflicts? One of the pythons has the upper hand and is suffocating the other, and the rat is being squished between the two. That's what I call being at the wrong place at the wrong time. A cobra bites into a rat snake and doesn't let go. The much smaller snake tries to defend itself, but the cobra is too powerful and begins to swallow the rat snake whole. This cobra has found the beam snake, and it has the beam snake's tail in its mouth, while the beam snake is slithering around trying to free itself. I wish the beam snake all the luck in the world, but I don't see it happening. Number 11, rhino versus rhino. These two rhinos compete for territory, and it's clear that one rhino is more powerful than the other. The shoving continues for a few seconds until the stronger rhino pushes the weaker rhino into the grass behind the tree where we can't see what's going on. This rhino is seen delivering it to another rhino. This rhino is being assaulted from all sides, and the rhino being attacked has several injuries. When one of the dueling rhinos is successful in flanking the other, he inflicts significant damage. Rhinos have thick skin, yet their horns are sharp and can pierce the skin of other rhinos. As he falls to the ground, it appears that the lesser rhino has met his end. These two rhinos inflict serious injuries on one another as they battle through the grass and dirt in this violent conflict. One of the rhinos was gravely damaged and died shortly after the struggle. A male black rhino is looking for a female to mate with, but all she cares about is safeguarding her calf. He drives her backwards into the ground, even though she weighs as much as a powerboat, creating massive dust clouds. Her calf, now submerged in the cloud, is in a grave danger. The rhino's vision is weak. It can only see up to 100 feet in clear weather. The bull might easily stomp the calf in the heavy dust. The mother twists around to flee, but the large male continues to pursue her. In his rage, he lifts her back end clear off the ground with his deadly tipped 2-foot-long horn. Even if she had an inch-thick hide, he could still pierce her side. Her baby's life could be jeopardized if she is hurt. The storms begin to dissipate and the infant remains unscathed. Even though the large bull can push this mother around, she is not a pushover. The bull acted like a regular male bull. Number 10, lion versus lion. Two lions fight in Africa for the privilege to mate with a fertile female. One of the lions loses, resulting in a bleeding nose. Female lions have been known to intervene in fights. This lion challenges the pride's prime male, climbing over a tiny wall and attacking him right away. For whatever reason, the females try to intercede. The males quickly turn their focus to the females, leading them to take a step back. As the girls try to intercede again, the fight moves into the bushes, but the violent struggle continues. The fight appears to have ended suddenly, but it hasn't. The two lions reappear, and it appears there is no obvious winner, as the lions leave the battlefield but return for another struggle despite their exhaustion. The females give the lions a piece of their mind while also safeguarding their young. It's amusing, but I think male lions act exactly like men, or it's probably the other way around. These two guys are in a fight for territory and females. As you can see, these fights may become extremely violent, and it's not uncommon for one of the two lions to die in the process, but the weaker lion will usually give up and exit the fight before death occurs. This group of 5 males gets into a heated debate that lasts only a few seconds. I believe they started talking about something sensitive and one of the lions was upset and it turned into a shambles. Number 9. Komodo dragon versus Komodo dragon. These two massive male Komodo dragons fight it out, spraying goo from their mouths while hugging each other, standing up. These 290-kilo giants' sheer scaly mass is enough to make you never want to meet one in a dark alley. These brawls are completely insane. Watch as these two Komodo dragons slam into each other like two seasoned sumo wrestlers. These lizards are not to be trifled with. The Komodo is also immune to the poison of other Komodos, so that's one less thing to worry about. These two Komodo dragons fight ferociously. May the best Komodo come out on top. During mating season, Komodo dragons compete to impress the females to maintain their bloodline. Why do these individuals endanger their lives by getting so close to these dragons with their phones only to take a picture? People are insane. Number 8. Alligator versus alligator. These two are involved in a violent scuffle, and one of the reptiles is getting a beating. You would think the one that was flipped over on its back is seeing stars now, but both animals get back into the water without a problem. This incredible struggle between two alligators was captured on video. These two are really going at it, holding nothing back. They take the fight into the water, where it continues. A few golfers came across an incredible sight while golfing with friends. As they approached the 18th hole, they spotted alligators fighting on the fairway. The alligators would lay still for a few minutes, with their jaws locked, trying rolls and shakes. Although alligators are common in the area, a sight such as this one had never been seen by the golfers. The fight went on for about 2 hours. That surely slows down a golf game. These two alligators are involved in an intense fight, and they get some mean bites in there. They flip and roll over as one of the alligators turns and twirls the other reptile back into the water. Number 7. Elephants versus elephants. Two big bull elephants are battling for their lives. They've been at it for the past 3 days. If the ragged ear one wins, he will be the sole heir to the females. Both bulls are in the must, and the fight's tension could kill them, especially since they haven't eaten since the dispute began. One of the elephants finally gives up and wanders away. A few yards away from bystanders, two battling bull elephants erupt from the bushes. They've been fighting for quite some time now, and they're both covered in blood. You can sense the two bulls' incredible might as they take a breather, but the fight is far from over. Two young male elephants put their fighting abilities to the test. Young males may use forest clearings like this one to interact with other males in the society, establish dominance, and develop abilities they'll need later in life to compete for females. During must, the bulls compete for dominance by fighting one another. These conflicts can be bloody, and beaten elephants will occasionally succumb to their wounds. Number 6. Zebra versus zebra. These zebras get into a heated fight and start kicking and attacking one another. There must be a few ladies in the area, and the guys want to impress them. During the Great Migration, a female zebra is guiding her family. Her foal has proven to be up to the task of the journey. However, danger strikes when you least expect it. The family is obliged to come to a halt. Another zebra is posing a threat to her stallion. Her and her family will be under the control of the victor. The female is the ultimate prize as leader, but she will not be taken lightly. Her steed will fight to the death to protect her. A coup threatens to split the female zebra's family, but her stallion succeeds, and for the time being, order is restored. In this herd, there's a new kid on the block. The new boss, on the other hand, is on a quest to kill the new kid. Young stallions occasionally kill offspring that do not share their heritage. The stallion aggressively uses his weight on the foal at the waterhole. To protect her young, mom must put herself in danger, which she accomplishes by separating the stallion from the foal. His incisors primarily crop grass, but they may pierce flesh as well. The foal stumbles and mom rushes to the rescue, attempting to put the stallion off balance. However, the bully responds, but it is insufficient. Mom and the foal come out on top. So many animals so close to a waterhole, they are treated to a zebra conflict and keep a careful eye on it, or at least most of them do. Number 5. Giraffe versus giraffe. These two male giraffes do not like each other, and the younger of the two feels he has a chance of winning and attacks the older male. Usually a couple of strikes ends a fight, but the stakes are high. The loser will be shut out into exile to live in the desert. The tactics change when the older male goes for the legs, but the young male is too strong and knocks the older to the ground. He knows the younger male will give him the final blow, yet he avoids the strike and hits his rival in the stomach and knocks him out. The old male maintains order over the area. These two giraffes fight, and one of the two giraffes gets its leg stuck on the other giraffe's back. I'm not sure if this is intentional, but it keeps it there for quite a while. Besides that, they don't attack each other with neck blows for the moment. Perhaps they are just testing their skills. A violent bull giraffe battle can last for hours. By aiming strikes towards their opponent's legs, the giraffes try to knock each other off balance. Bull giraffes weigh around 1,500 kilos, which combined with their 2-meter-long necks provides them the force and muscle they need to fight for mating rights. Number 4. Kangaroo versus kangaroo. There's a brawl going on between two noisy males. It's a barrage of kicks and slugs aimed at landing a knockout blow. To protect the face, especially the eyes, heads are thrust back. The kangaroo's kick is one of nature's most powerful, capable of propelling them at speeds of up to 40 miles per hour. The argument was interrupted by a powerful male who emerged out of nowhere. After all, he's their sheriff. Restoring order, on the other hand, will necessitate some serious punishment. The year of fending off competitors has taken its toll on the dominant male, and he may be facing defeat this time. For the final strike, the challenger takes a higher vantage position and so becomes the new king. The loser is banished to the feeding ground's lower levels. Males will quarter for several days to determine if a female is sexually accessible using their sense of smell. Most of the next generation will be fathered by the most dominating male, which is something worth fighting for. A boxing match is taking place between these two kangaroos. It's a push and pull contest to determine who will come out on top. Number 3. Leopard versus leopard. When this leopard makes a kill, a slew of grassland animals appear out of nowhere to steal it. Worse, another leopard, the leopard's direct adversary, is preparing to ambush him. They are fighting to the death, but both cats are exhausted, thus the combat may not be completed. The ambushed leopard pins the other cat and takes possession of the territory. When a female leopard reaches adulthood, her mother perceives her as a threat and exiles her. When they first meet, the mother simply lies down and waits for the cubs to approach her. The male approaches her, brushes up against her, and walks away. The mother begins to snarl as the female approaches. She is highly hostile to the young female whenever she comes close to her. Her daughter is perplexed and attempts to reconnect with the familiarity with which she grew up. She finally gets too close, resulting in a severe brawl. Imagine the look of surprise on the daughter's face. It's just not the kind of thing she'd anticipate from her mother. When a female enters a territory, males react aggressively, as they do in most other species, which is why these two leopards are fighting. They're both looking for a way to seduce the female. When one of the males wins the fight, the female expresses her submission by lowering her head. Before they fight, these two leopards give each other a warning. They're growling and snarling, and the situation is about to turn heated. The tension is palpable, and then one of the two cats pulls away slightly, presumably surrendering victory to the other. Number 2. Buffalo versus buffalo. The herd's current leader is the older, darker bull. The younger bull is the lighter brown one. He is less experienced than the elder bull, but he is just as determined. The older bull goes for the youngster's weak neck and lifts him off the ground. The adolescent is small but weighs a ton, so it's quite an accomplishment for the older bull. The adolescent recovers and bends away from the horns. By lowering his head, the challenger protects his skin. The younger bull spins his opponent around, aiming for a weak flank, and the young gun rams a horn into his opponent's chest. He gets a second chance, and this time he hits the target. Because the old bull is fatigued and damaged, he will have to knock out the younger rival to win, which will be incredibly tough. Bam! The youngster is badly damaged and has had enough of the fight. These two buffaloes struggle to establish supremacy over the other males by demonstrating their strength. The animals expend a lot of energy in these conflicts, and they continue until one of them gives up. The winner will be the dominant male and claim the rights to the ladies, while the loser will be banned. It is stated that when two Cape buffaloes collide to acquire rank within a breeding herd, it is the equivalent of a car crashing into a stone wall at 50 kilometers per hour. Buffalo males will occasionally engage in combat with one another. These fights occur from time to time among herd members, mainly because of dominance issues. This aging bull is surrounded by 5 opponents who relentlessly attack him one by one. That's what it takes to be the gang's leader. The aspiring buffaloes continuously put you to the test. Number 1. Bison versus bison. The valley is transformed into an arena for the summer's biggest fight. This 1-ton colossus is solely concerned with one thing. He is the herd stallion and he intends to keep it that way. But he has a problem. There are too many females. Because he doesn't rule over a harem, he'll have to fight on multiple fronts because many of them are in heat at the same time. He is not the owner of the females. They mate with the first dominant male available when they're ready. This bison has been identified as that male bison. Hundreds of opponents fantasize about mowing the grass beneath his feet. He must persuade them completely. He effortlessly defeats most of his opponents, yet he is never without a challenge. A fresh victory and a new duel are on the horizon. Every day he needs to fight a new battle. The marathon goes on like this for a month, which is the price to pay to stay on top. He mates with various females during this time. It's exhausting and he's hardly able to stand up by the end of it all. He hasn't eaten much in the last few weeks and has lost 90 kilos. His heart finally stops beating, but he accomplished his goals and ensured his progeny. These males have harems, much as in real life, with the difference that humans don't fight for control of their harems. They just make it up as they go along and keep it a secret. I just love how powerful the bison is, and he is my favorite. What about you? Why don't you let us know what you think in the comments below? Well, that's our countdown of 15 epic fights between animals of the same species. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. That's it for now.